Take those few moments, in fact, to gather more details as to what's happening on the ground and what the people, of course, are telling you on the ground in Japan as well. Christian, of course, reporting from the crime scene itself. Now, a 41-year-old man shot at Shinzo Abe, the former Prime Minister of Japan. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe collapsed while giving a speech in the city of Nara in western Japan after being shot at. The suspected shooter was nabbed and taken into custody for allegedly attempting murder. The police have revealed that the suspect is 41-year-old Tetsuya Yamagami, a resident of Nara city in Japan. Tetsuya Yamagami is a former member of Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force. It is known that police officials seized a shotgun at the site which the suspect was apparently holding. Now, according to police sources, Shinzo Abe, 67 years old, was shot from behind with a shotgun. 2 shots were reportedly heard at the site by onlookers and media personnel who were present on the site.
He was making his speech, and from behind a man approached, and we were watching from above. And the first shot was just like a bazooka-like, toy-like gun. And nobody collapsed. Elections are being held. This is a very foundation of democracy. And such an incident took place. It is barbaric and malicious, and it cannot be tolerated. We will do everything we can. I would like to use the most extreme words available to condemn this act.
That was, of course, the Prime Minister Fumio Kishida telling the people of Japan what exactly happened and the details that are currently available with the government as to what exactly transpired and the details of the assailant. The assailant, as you can see over there, on your screens in grey, who approached and was then, of course, those visuals, of course, of police personnel immediately holding him and taking him into their custody. Now, the last time, in fact, a Japanese politician was similarly attacked like Shinzo Abe was in 1992 in Japan, when LDP member and Deputy Prime Minister Shin Kanemaru was attacked by a gunman but was not injured. Shinzo Abe, of course, is the longest-serving Prime Minister in Japan's history. He has served as the Prime Minister of the country over 2 stints. The last time, of course, in 2020, he stepped down due to poor health. He was, of course, campaigning earlier this morning in Nara city. Those pictures, of course, of earlier where, of course, you can see him over there just outside the train station in Nara making a speech. And you can see the smoke behind him. This was when the gunman opened fire from behind, almost approaching him sideways, shooting at him twice, critically injuring him in the process. Now, chilling videos of the moment when former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, was shot at in the city of Nara have emerged. Videos on your screens show you how Shinzo Abe was shot at from behind with a shotgun while delivering a speech at a campaign event in western Japan. Abe collapsed moments after the attacker shot at him with his shirt smeared with blood. Fire department has stated that Shinzo Abe was not breathing and his heartbeat stopped while he was being airlifted to hospital after the gunshot wounds that he suffered. Abe was given CPR right after he fell on the ground after the horrific shooting. Visuals from the spot showed several ambulances and emergency response teams trying to, of course, rescue the former Prime Minister. A 41-year-old man, Tetsuya Yamagami, a resident of Nara city, has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder for shooting at former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Those images on your screens of the gunman who has been taken into custody by the police is being questioned, and he in fact has admitted to the police, as per local media reports, that he intended to kill Shinzo Abe and he wanted to see the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister of Japan, dead. As you can see, he was casually standing by earlier in the day, those images having been captured by those who, of course, were taking videos of the campaign. The mainstream media was present over there, and in full public glare, the gunman approached former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and shot at him. Let's listen into what local eyewitnesses had to say.
He was making his speech, and from behind, a man approached, and we were watching from above, and the first shot was just like a bazooka-like, toy-like gun, and nobody collapsed. He was still, and nothing happened. But with the second shot, we could see gunpowder, and we could see the smoke coming out. It was the same gun, yes. And after the first shot, he kind of went back, and with the second shot, Mr. Abe collapsed, and people were conducting CPR, and many of the people around him were attending to him. What did it look like? He was wearing a gray T-shirt and a khaki color pants, and he was just out of energy, and he was just standing. He didn't run away or anything. He was just standing there, and the security police, I think, such people were there to surround him, but he didn't even attempt to run, and he just got arrested.
You heard from an eyewitness over there saying that the gunman didn't even attempt to run from the spot after having committed the crime. He stood there lifelessly before the police, of course, overpowered him and got custody of him, immediately arresting him on charges of attempted murder. Those images of the gunman, as you can see, videos that have been accessed by India Today from the ground itself, standing by over there in the background as the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe can be seen in the foreground making his campaign speech. Now, in a new despicable law by China, its nationalists are celebrating the shooting of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Now, even as the world is praying for Abe's recovery, China is lauding the loss of its enemy. The Chinese social media was flooded with celebratory texts and ill-timed jokes wishing Abe's death. Many Chinese nationalists were seen cheering the assassination bid. Some Chinese users, in fact, wanted to congratulate and reward the apprehended shooter, hailing him as a hero. Some comments also wanted the present Japanese Prime Minister and his Korean counterpart to be assassinated in a similar fashion. Chinese mouthpiece Global Times has meanwhile blamed right-wing forces in Japan for the attack on former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. China says the attack on Abe can accelerate the revision of pacifist constitution and cause ripple effect to foreign policy like ties with US and China. So in an absolutely despicable law over there, China and its citizens seem to be celebrating this assassination bid. Them, of course, congratulating the assailant, the gunman who has been taken into custody by Japanese police. Not very shocking, this reaction that is coming in from China. In fact, Shinzo Abe had taken a very strong anti-China policy as well. He, in fact, was instrumental in forming the Quad as well, the four-nation grouping between India, US, Japan and Australia as well, which basically intended to take on security-wise China in the Indo-Pacific region. Shinzo Abe, of course, a very pragmatic and realistic leader is what experts describe him as, someone who has contributed majorly to Japanese democracy, a big proponent of democracy, and someone who, of course, propounded foreign relations and took India-Japan foreign relations to newer heights.